Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here from Antwerp, and today we are gonna try another beer, as usual of course, but this one is another one for a good cause. Now you might have noticed that if there is beer and supporting a good cause in one, I like that combo and I'd love to have one or at least one. This time it is, and I have to practice this, Chernigivske from Ukraine. Now I say from Ukraine, but it is brewed here in Leuven in Belgium, the Stella Artois brewery. But we'll get to that in a minute because I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, this is one of the most popular beers in Ukraine, one of the top 3 beers actually. And just like one of our top beers, Jupiler, Jupiler is nicknamed Jup for short, and Chernigivske is nicknamed Che for short. It is a crisp lager of 4.8% ABV, even though I think it started out as a 4.4. And yeah, it's like the typical national Pilsner beer of Ukraine. Now, originally this was brewed in 1988 for the 1300th anniversary of its hometown Chernihiv, hence the name Chernigivske. It was the first beer brewed in the USSR, or back then the USSR, according to complete European recipe and standards. Now, unfortunately, not much is known about the brewery, or at least I can't find a lot from before AB InBev took over this brewery, because these days Chernigivske is actually market leader, or one of 3 market leaders, and it's been brewed in, until recently, it's been brewed in 3 breweries in Ukraine. The original one in Chernihiv, one in Kharkiv, and one in Mykolaiv. And yes, I am reading this because I really couldn't study this by heart. Now, these 3 breweries that I just named are owned by Sun InBev, or SUN InBev. And you might have guessed it, but SUN InBev is a Russian subsidiary of AB InBev, or Anheuser-Busch InBev. So it is technically Russian owned. However, of course, they still call themselves a Belgian brewery, but we all know that this is a American or Brazilian American conglomerate. Now, I did manage to find the original website of Chernigivske. Unfortunately, it has been archived, and even though I know someone who works at the archival, or the internet archival, this website is only available in Ukrainian, and yeah, not so much. So, unfortunately, that info is scarce. Even on Wikipedia, we can't find anything pre-AB InBev. Nonetheless, these days, the beer is being brewed in Belgium, but also in several other countries, because when Russia invaded Ukraine, started their military exercise in Ukraine, marketing director Anna Rudenko fled to Belgium with little over 100 employees. Of course, she brought her family, a lot of those families came as well, and Anna and those employees today work in Leuven at the brewery. The decision was made to start brewing their top tier beer, the Chernigivske, all over the world. So in the US, in Canada, in Belgium, in several other countries, and to sell it to make, of course, to make a profit. We sell every beer to make a profit, but to support non-profit organizations that supply humanitarian help in Ukraine. Now, this wasn't very clear because I found two versions in the media. One version is put out by AB InBev themselves with a big marketing campaign saying all profits are going to humanitarian help in Ukraine. Another one, and I think that was by the Times, said that AB InBev guarantees $5 million for the humanitarian help. So whichever one it is, I hope it's the former, not the latter, but whichever one it is noble, of course, to help people that are in war and, of course, against their will. Anywho, enough depressing news and info or lack of info. Let's cut to the tasting. Now, first, let's check out this can. Of course, this beer had a complete makeover, so now it is a clean, naked can, so pure aluminum, with the yellow and blue heart that says profits go to Ukrainian relief. Humanitarian relief efforts, alcohol 4.8%, lager, Ukraine's most loved beer, so yeah, they are pretty heavy on the marketing here. Again, humanitarian relief efforts with a dove and an olive branch. Chernigivske is UK's most loved beer, a crisp and refreshing lager originally brewed with a character that perfectly balances strength and spirit. Your purchase celebrates the spirit, and the profits will contribute to relief efforts. Chernigivske is best enjoyed with friends, or in this case, ice cold, and from a good old Jupiler glass, because, well, it's being brewed there, and then I still have a chance to get those glasses out of the closet. One last minor detail, the beer is brewed with local barley grown in Chernihiv, and I do believe I read that they also use maize or corn, so I am expecting a rather full mouthfeel, crisp, light lager. Now, in every country that I come, I try out the local Pilsner beers. Like here in Belgium, it's Stella Artois and Jupiler. In Slovenia, there's Union and Laško. And yeah, like in Spain, you have San Miguel and Mau and Estrella Damm. It always boils down to the same comparison. One is more sweet, one is more bitter. And it all comes down to preference. Now, I only have one Ukrainian beer. I can't compare the three. So let's see what gives. Smells quite malty. A bit hoppy even. Actually more hoppy than malty. Not very sweet, which is a plus for me. A very clear, pale beer. Yeah, a typical Pilsner like every other one. Nice white foam, very white foam, very dense, tiny bubbles. I do see a lot of pearls in there. Still smells quite hoppy, so this one leans more towards the Stella Artois or the Estrella Damm, or yeah, whatever you want. Also, if you come in a European country and you find like the two main Pilsners in a country, pay attention to that. Most of the time there's a green one and a red one. Oh wow, that is in fact very hoppy. Very crisp, of course. I'm drinking this quite cold. Very refreshing, as it should be, but a lot hoppier than I expected. I actually like my Pilsners crisp and hoppy, slightly bitter, a bit dry. You know, I love saisons, I love dry beers in general. Okay, absolutely approved. and indeed a quite full mouthfeel. Now, of course, the use of corn or maize contributes to that, a different kind of starch, but also it is quite carbonated. I do get a lot of CO2 bubbles in there. It's like a small explosion in the mouth. I still have that aftertaste, quite bitter, quite dry. I do have a dry feeling on the top of my, or on the back of my tongue. So for all intents and purposes, I actually really like this. I honestly think this is a very, very good Pilsner beer. Wish I'd known sooner. I would have bought a crate instead of one of these. But hey, there's still time, and whatever we can do to help, right? Absolutely lovely. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember what I paid for this. Can't imagine that it was much. So if it's at a average price point and it tastes like this, I might even get a crate. Now, let's see how it tastes as it's supposed to be drunk, Slav style, straight from the can. At least just as good. This takes me back to the festivals. Yeah, absolutely love this. No remarks here. So, scoring. I would say for a Pilsner, this is at least a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe even an 8. So yeah, 375 to 4 in Untapped. Yeah, even I'm surprised. Very happy with this. Very nice, dry, hoppy Pilsner. Very refreshing. Absolutely love it. I'd say go out and buy one. Chances are that wherever you are, you can get your hands on one because they sell this worldwide. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna empty this, and yeah, look at that, saving the world one beer at a time. If you guys like this video, let me know. Hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll get notified first for all my uploads. And I will see you guys again in a few days with... It's been a while since we had an IPA, right? Yeah, let's make it an IPA. Cheers, you guys. See you in the next one.